Alright, so see what we got here. Another audio presentation. Excited, I am. Going to be against competitors Kazachee and Lost Khan. So excited to see Kazachee and Lost Khan play. Terran versus Zerg matchup. The last one of these was epic. Went on for quite some time. And this one we haven't even seen a dent inside there. Going to probably be a very long game. Buckle up. Let's go ahead and speed up the time. Oh yeah, that's going to be a really long game. But I will be here with you guys throughout it all to commentate. So there's the choke-off hatchery. Going to be able to hit that right away with some tanks right over here. This is very much in the favor of Lost Khan, I would say. The positions very close. He does have this danger area behind his base, but I'm going to have to say I really like Lost Khan's position here. So once again, this is brought to you by StarCraft World and Folgers Coffee. There's no better part of waking up than finding Folgers in your cup. And vodka. I wake and bake and take 8 vodka shots when I wake up. That was vodka. And also by starcraftworld.net. Go out there and check out starcraftworld.net. I know I do all of the time. And by the Warcraft 2 server, war2.ru, the Russian Warcraft server. Shout out to Il, the main admin there. Alright, and here comes the first interaction between these two players. Let's slow it down to faster. Whoa! Alright, we'll speed it back up. So here comes the Marines. Want to prevent any further sunken colonies to come out here. Actually, that number of Marines could probably just kill them right out. And that's exactly what he's going for. But going to be put off by that one single sunken colony. And back to your incredibly long game, but have no fears, because I will be here with you. Alright, spreading these sunken colonies out, but as I said, a single siege tank on this side is going to knock quite a few of those out. And here comes the barracks. This is often done not only to scout out the Zerg, but to prevent the Zerg from putting further resources on those mineral patches. And then replacing that barracks. Odd. There is no sign of a factory. There is the factory. Big lifted up and put back down with an engineering bay or Terran machine shop. And here comes another factory flying over there to get that factory up on top of it. Engineering bay to scout out these areas. And there we see the barracks do its final descent. The shadow of it covers those minerals. But a spore colony over here, going to be able to push it off very quickly. So far, a pretty exciting game from Kazachee and Lost Khan. Not disappointing at all to see these great players engage in battle. Alright, so Kazachee further building even more sunken colonies. And removing that barracks there. Already a Queen's Nest. And there's the Spire. So he's going straight to Guardians to try to buy him enough time The Terran player is going to want to destroy all of these sunken colonies and attack the base before these Guardians arrive, as the Guardians can simply sit behind his base and bombard his mineral patches. Here comes one of those tanks on this side here, wisely sieging up so it can target all of these buildings. And making short work of these sunken colonies. 3 tanks now, and despite all of these creep colonies going up near the back of his base, I'm just not convinced that the Guardians are going to arrive in time. Moving forward so quickly here, taking damage on his tanks even. And here comes that engineering bay. Look how efficient this tank is on the other side here. Won't be long before that spore colony is destroyed. And this tank is going to be rerouted, but already the spire is complete. Should be seeing some Mutalisk here. Mutalisk can, well, a couple turrets are already there for defense. And notice the tank's moving so closely, able to take a lot of damage. Needs to get these Marines up there though, to help defend against these Mutalisks. Here come the Mutalisks just as the Marines arrive. Able to take out one of the leading tanks. A small victory for kazachee, but Lost Khan simply pushes forward. Trying to target that tank down, not going to be successful. Look at all of these tanks. He needs Greater Spire right now, not even halfway done. This is looking more and more like it's going to be a Lost Khan victory. Tank's not even afraid to get hit. Their might combined is so strong. And we'll see what we got over here for Lost Khan to answer to these Guardians. Race already coming out. Alright, here come the Guardians. There are quite a few Marines here. A few Wraiths going to be on the way. And look at these tanks as soon as they siege. And that is a massive army. Don't know if the Guardians are going to be successful here. Start picking away at the Marines. The Marines must die first. And they all do cease to exist. That leaves the tanks wide open for these Guardians. Desperately needs these Wraiths over there. And the siege tanks are going to be beaten back by the air power of Kazachee. Great move from Kazachee. Cole, I do believe his name is. And while Kazachee is forced to lick his wounds, he does have a very advantageous position here behind the base of Lost Khan, who has not been able to build another command center. And the Wraiths duke it out with the Mutalisks. And I think this is going to be a successful defense for Lost Khan. Lots of Marines taking the damage. They can be rebuilt. More and more wraiths pour in. And despite taking enormous amounts of damage in this fight, still going to overall be a Lost Khan victory. We can see the supply. Only 58 supply for the Zerg player. Meanwhile, Lost Khan has 103 supply. Count the hatcheries. Not too bad, 7 hatcheries. But a new line of siege tanks come in here. What are they doing? They're trying to kill the economic, able to get the drones. Great shot, sniper shot. At least killing 10 drones there. More and more air power combined with the land power. Going to put Lost Khan in a winning position here in this game as long as he's able to keep this up. Remember, he's only had 1 SCV produced at a time from this command center the entire game. No science facility as of yet. Just a race to deal with these Guardians, and a huge number of Guardians being produced here. Expanding his gas production. Can Kazachee pull himself back into this game? Only time will tell, as there is another attack brewing here in the winds from Lost Khan. Bit of a controversy here, as they say that Lost Khan has allowed, or somebody has allowed Kazachee to play in their account. Perhaps Lost Khan, I'm not sure. Don't know, don't care. But always exciting to see controversies happen or being hashed out in the forums. Alright, siege tanks up and ready. A target firing down these spore colonies. These wraiths really need to get up in there and get in some of that action as the Marines are slaughtered. The wraiths finally get sent in, but just as then a huge amount of mutalisks pour in. And this is going to be yet another stalemate between these two factions. The Zerg able to destroy all of the land units of the Terran player, but lacking the necessary air units themselves to push out. And here the Wraiths get a nice dosage of those Scourge. Down to 6 or 7 Wraiths. Not enough to advance upon the Zerg defenses. Lost Khan really taking a dominant position here, right up outside of the enemy's base. Guardian's going to be able to mop this up once again, but Lost Khan has consistently taken the battle to Kazachee, kept the battle inside his base and away from the backside here. And we have our first science vessel underway. That combined with an irradiate could really do some damage to these Guardians. And just see how quickly those Guardians were executed by these Wraiths. And we're doing more of the same. More bunkers, more Wraiths, a couple of new science vessels. It'll be interesting to see if the Guardians are the recipients of those irradiates or if he goes straight for the drones production. 69 food compared to 160 food. Very much still inside the favor of Lost Khan. So siege tanks on the way. And the first science vessels are ready to enter the battle, getting the max energy, which means they most definitely have ready to irradiate these guardians. Big question on everybody's mind: can Lost Khan destroy him in this attack, or will it be yet another Zerg victory on the defense? And here comes the assault, trying to lure the ghosts inside the range of the 4 colonies. 4 tanks there to start the battle off. Here comes the irradiates. Or not. Maybe it's defense matrix he wants to play. Alright, so the Zerg trying to hold out, but the Terran just keeps creeping closer and closer towards victory. More Guardians in the way. Will he decide to use these irradiates? And there's the first irradiate. 2 irradiates on these Guardians, going to bring them all down. Still a lot of irradiates inside. But look at this. Scourge. And here comes more and more irradiates. Just what the doctor ordered. Lost Khan with the cloak, the irradiates, the tanks and the marines. Really taking this fight to his opponent. And yet another irradiate. That Guardian alone had 13 kills, but no longer will it be such a bother in the skies. Alright, down to the 4 Guardians. This stranglehold doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. Able to smash these science vessels with a successful... That's really going to help him out. And now there's not way too much to actually deal with these. Just a few Guardians left, and look at the new arrival of all these science. Nothing much for the Zerg to do now. Still producing, getting more and more hatcheries in the back of his base, but what can he possibly do against all of these siege tanks? Just going to irradiate their way to victory. Alright, I want to thank you guys all for tuning in. This is going to be a Lost Khan victory at 20 minutes into the game. Able to pull ahead with a victory here. All of the Zerglings come in for a nice counterattack. But Marines are there. Even if he's able to take out most of these siege tanks, still has no answer to the science vessels. Alright, so once again, today's commentary is brought to you by StarCraft World. And also by Folgers. There's no better part of waking up than finding Folgers in your cup. And also by Warcraft 2 server war2.ru. Go out and play online for free at the warcraft2.ru server. Kazachee asking for the Lost Con granting it DO. Let's go and tune in for game number 2. I do hope so. Wiki Warcraft 2. Peace out, homies. Boop boop shadoo.